Hello everyone, I finally emerged out of my underground bunker from playing Final Fantasy 15 to give you the latest info on comics. So here we're going to be looking at the WTF moments from comics that were released from DC Comics in the week of December 7th, 2016. Please keep in mind that these moments are not what I find strictly negative. It could be positive or surprising. They're basically just moments that make me go WTF. Also possible spoilers for the recent Rebirth comics released. So we start things off with DC Comics.Com. Yes, you heard me, the official website for DC Comics. If you go to the website and click on the section Comics, and I believe right now, since the video is out on a Monday, click on last week, you'll notice that two particular comics are missing. And those two comics are Batman and Aquaman. How the hell did that happen? Especially considering that one of these comics is about a character who is arguably the most popular character in DC Comics right now. If I remember correctly, a certain member left the Justice League in October, that person being Jessica Cruz. Now, I did see her in one preview for the upcoming absolutely unnecessary event Justice League vs. Suicide Squad, but since October, it's been confirmed that Jessica has indeed left the Justice League. So why is she here with the Justice League in Aquaman number 12? Wasn't Batman in the ventilation shaft in the same room Catwoman, Bane, and Psycho Pirate are in back in issue 11? So how and or why is he now in this area at the beginning of this issue? I can only assume that Batman is trying to take down all the security on the island, which I also assume it takes some time to accomplish. By the end of this issue, I noticed that Bane, Catwoman, and Psycho Pirate never really left the room since the end of issue 11, so it makes me really wonder how long have they been waiting in that room for Batman to come in. As Batman is going around beating up Bane's henchmen, we see these captions, which I assume the captions are formed to a letter written by Batman to Catwoman. In a particular set of captions, Batman explains a specific experience he had when he was 10, or I'm assuming a little kid. This experience is when he nearly attempted to take his own life by taking a razor blade and cutting his wrist. The fact that Batman attempted to do this is, to me, a big WTF. So after Batman finishes doing what he was doing, he finally gets to the room where Catwoman, Bane, and Psycho Pirate are in, and kneels down. Why? Before we end Batman and move on to the next comic, I want to point out that the only person who talks in this comic is Bane, which is only a couple of sentences. Pretty much the captions takes up the majority of the dialogue in this issue, and to me, that's still a WTF. After Cyborg successfully creates a female cyborg, she breaks out of her test tube and goes on a bit of a rampage. According to Cyborg, her first basic instinct is to kill. If that's the case, why did she knock Cyborg to the side and specifically went after Sarah Charles, who's this person right here, who possibly is farthest in the room? I mean, why didn't she try to kill Cyborg, considering he was the first person she came in contact with? Later on, when the female cyborg, whose name is going to be Variant later on in the comic, can't sleep, Cyborg introduces her to the Cyberverse. What is the Cyberverse, you ask? Well, apparently it's a place where only Cyborg and Variant's minds can perceive the virtual world. From what I'm looking at, it just looks like a hallway of computer code. Cyborg claims that this is beautiful, and Variant actually agrees with him. Amazing, yes. Beautiful? Not even close. Cyborg and Variant have sex. Somebody please explain to me how the hell that even works if their bodies are 90% cybernetic. I mean, I guess they do it by connecting cores to each other, what? So, it turns out in a somewhat plot twist, Variant is revealed to be working for a generic bad guy named Terrence Fisher, and I say generic because he wants to build an army and take over the world. I'm not kidding, he really says that. This is the second character to be revealed as non-binary. If you want to know what it means, here's the definition. I'll spare you guys from reading the definition because it's one of the most stupidest things I've ever heard in my entire life. But I guess if DC wants to be diverse, then expect to see some sort of bullshit like this. Speaking about diversity, when are we going to get more Dominican superheroes? The only hero that I'm aware of that is Dominican is Renee Montoya. So, what the fuck? Come on, DC, represent! So, within the pages of Death of Hawkman, Adam Strange visits Hawkman to tell him the situation and request his assistance. During this, the policeman shows up to arrest Adam Strange. Both Adam and Hawkman make a break for it, and Hawkman suggests that they should separate and hide for a while. Even though Hawkman didn't tell him where specifically to hide, Adam decides to hide up a tree. I'm not kidding. Why? Why would you hide? You know what? And what makes it even worse, this actually works. What the fuck? I'm pretty sure he was in the last issue. I'm not 100% sure on that, but just in case he's not, Despero makes his Rebirth debut. WTF. While this miniseries is fun, and I do enjoy the dynamic between Adam Strange and Hawkman, I'm 3 issues in, and I have yet to see why this comic is even called Death of Hawkman, or why it even exists. Anyone else notice a pattern in the Green Arrow series? The low-class citizens of Seattle are being abused, again. Black Canary tells Oliver to think of others before himself, again. Someone trying to ruin Oliver's life by making him look bad, again. You see where I'm going with this? I think it's time to shake things up, or at least try to do something different instead of doing the same things over and over and over again. And that's something that I'm feeling with the Green Arrow series. I'm not sure, but let me know if you guys noticed that, because that's something I surely did notice. Simon's choice of words when trying to insult Frank, you know, the guy who has the Phantom ring. He says, and I quote, "a total thirsty wannabe tool." What the fuck does that even mean? Remember all the things that happened in the previous issue of Justice League, like Simon's ring going haywire, Cyborg systems acting up, or the Watchtower shutting down to the point where it fell down to Earth? Well, in this issue, it's revealed that it was caused unintentionally by an AI search engine that has the ability to hack, created by a kid. What the fuck? Okay, so many debuts here, so let's go down the list, shall we? Count Vertigo, Giganta, Gizmo, Heatstroke, Jinx, Mammoth, Plastique, I think that's how you call it, Major Disaster, Girder, Simon, Cold Snap, Shimmer, and Amazo make their Rebirth debut, which to me, especially with Amazo, that's a giant WTF. Also, who is this guy? I can't seem to find a name for this character. I don't know if it's the use of color, but ever notice that Dick Grayson is getting whiter within these 3 pages? I mean, it sure as hell distracted the living shit out of me. So after hearing a couple of police sirens from his window, Dick Grayson suits up. Then we see him swinging rooftop to rooftop. I assume this was a mistake on the artist because in one panel you don't see Nightwing's signature twin sticks, but in the next panel you see it on his back. Now, it could be an artist mistake, or it could be the infamous plague that infects the entire Bat family that defies space, time, and logic. You guessed it right, my friends, this could be the work of Bat Logic. Following the police helicopters to the source of the trouble, Nightwing discovers through a police scanner that a homicide was taking place and that the suspect has gone to higher ground. You know, it's probably going through the roofs of the buildings and shit. That's basically what they mean by gone higher ground. When Nightwing lands on a building, he is attacked by Gorilla Grimm, who used to live in Gorilla City, but now is living in Bloodhaven. Nightwing subdues him and tells him he will go to jail for killing a man. Turns out, Grimm reveals that it wasn't him and that he's innocent. Even if you really are innocent, why go and attack Nightwing? Wouldn't that leave a bad impression? Who is this person? I asked this question because it seems like Nightwing knows her. I've searched around on the internet and I couldn't find anything on this particular individual. So for those that read Nightwing, has this character appeared before or is she somebody new? I haven't read any Nightwing comics because I despise Nightwing with every fiber of my being, unless they were written by Tim Seeley, so I just want to know. Frankenstein, the Agent of Shade, makes his Rebirth debut, more specifically in a Superman comic no less. To be honest, I'd rather see him debut in the Hellblazer comic book series, given the whole paranormal aspect about him, but I'm just glad that he's back, and I would like to know more about his story and his adventures. I really hope that DC makes another series of Frankenstein, or at least with Shade, because that organization is pretty interesting to me. So there you have it. Those are all the moments that made me go WTF from DC Comics this week. If there are any WTF moments that you would like to share, or any that I've missed, let me know down in the comment section below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.